again, Axle Main Forge and Memory, and I was just doing a review video and quick fix on the pocket clip from my Honey Badger flipper that I carry. And it's that time again. That time is time for me to start cleaning these up, putting my edge on them, and then oiling them up, because a whole lot of these are going to Ken Mundy Log Cabin Village, and God only knows where else. But I've got to get some. I got to get a bunch of these done. So figured bring you guys along for a video on this, and hopefully I can get a fair amount of these done. So first thing I'm going to do, I want to tuck these away right here. And if you haven't liked and subscribed, be sure to do so and hit that notification button. First thing I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be cleaning these up with a little bit of wire wheel action right here. So I'm probably going to do these up kind of in batches of 6, just because one, it'll keep me productive, but it's also going to keep me from getting too bored about what I'm doing. And what I have here is a wire wheel on a angle grinder that does not have a guard on it, so be cautious about that. And all I'm doing, I'm just knocking off the loose scale. Now, if I really want to clean that up more, I've just got to put it in the vise and apply a bit more pressure. Let's bring it around to see that. It kind of depends on what kind of finish you're wanting to create, what you're trying to accomplish here. Still got some scale on it, probably going to leave some on that one. Some of these clean off easier than others, and the ones that do clean off easier, those are the ones that are going to be cleaner. So it cleans up to just kind of a gunmetal finish. there. That cleaned up okay. It could clean up a little more, but for what it is, it's going to be just fine. All right, guys, here we go. And zoom out just a little bit. Coming over here to the grinder. And I'm just putting a working edge on it. Guys, got a few of these going. Leo, how's it going? All right, so what I'm going to do next, I'm just going to come in and just knock that burr down real quick. It's not going to take very much. I'm not making these razor sharp by any means or intent. I'm putting a working edge on these so that they are available. for sale and for use at some of the local festivals where we are trying to draw more customers from. All right. So there we go. Now, just want to be cautious about the edges because I don't want to, one, hurt myself, or two, I don't want to damage the edge that I just ground on there. Now this one does have some weird oxide on it, so I cleaned off fairly quick. So part of the process here, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take this mixture of, it's mineral oil and oil linseed oil, and I'm going to spray it. And the reason I'm using a paint roller tray is, one, I had it available, and two, it does, you know, the design kind of helps to collect the excess oil when I'm done, and then I use that for oiling handles, so I can put it back in the bottle or whatever. Basically, it helps reduce waste. So I can just let them sit there for a moment and let them dry, or drip rather. They're dripping on the other ones here, which it will happen. I need a better place to put this. I really do. That is not the place, but that's where it's at. So then what I'll do, and I've had a lot of these I've got to get done, but I'll take up a batch of 6 more, and I want to work on getting those done. Sometimes I do them in larger batches, sometimes I do them in smaller, and more than anything, I just like to make progress and feel like I'm making progress versus looking at it and going, oh my God, this is going to take forever, because people, oh my God, this is going to take forever, I think. Damascus knife, I do have Damascus. Prices vary. You're going to probably start around $3.50 and on up from there. All right, so we're just going to be back at it right here, and this has had just a little bit of time. Ooh. So now what I'm going to do, I'll take my handy dandy cardboard sleeves that I've made out of some used boxes, and I'm just going to go through and load them up just like that. Cautiously, so you don't want to, I know I don't want to hurt myself. Those may be taped together just a little too well. Oh well. But this is kind of the idea, is to just progressively get myself set up while I'm making more of these. Making plenty of them. And the oils I use are safe on these, so there you go. Absolutely, G. And I just set them down into my box there and go from there. Not overly exciting, but it's part of the process. So hopefully the process pays off and I can make some money on these. We do a lot of forging experiences here at Axon Main Forge Memory, and this is a very popular experience that we have. We want more people to do it, so it only makes sense to promote it. The neat thing about a wire wheel is every so often it throws these little spears at you, or at me at least. Like I said, I'm not trying to get these completely clean, but I do want them just a bit better than just out of the forge. This one does have a little bit of bend in the tip. Maybe spike. So sometimes this goes pretty quick. and bringing it back around. And this is essentially what I will be doing for several hours. Let's see. Jeet, I'm using iron cutting green color round grinder. Very cool. Very cool. I like to use 2x72 right here. This is 120 grit. It's a bit worn, so it actually works okay for what I'm doing. I generally grind with gloves on, but I sharpen without. I can tell if my blade is heating up too much, not having gloves on. And I'm not leaning into it. When I'm leaning into it, I'm more likely to slip. Gloves also, they offer protection, but they don't allow me to have the control I would like when sharpening. There's nothing wrong with being a farmer. I've been a farmer too. We all start somewhere. All I'm doing, I'm just taking the burr off right here. It's not, you know, I don't intend it to be shaving sharp at the moment. Okay, so what I have right here, let me turn this around. You see I've got an assortment of designs and sizes here. And just some neat stuff like that, you know. I suppose I could put these on the floor and it might be better. I don't know if it's going to be better or not. Really don't want to, oil's going to get on the floor either way, I guess. I'll do this back here where people are not, aren't walking as much. Realistically, I can turn this way, that way I can get the head end of the handle. Set them up here and let them drain down into that reservoir area. So I'm making progress. I'm not making as much progress as I would like to, but I am making progress. Some of these you'll notice have a white film on them, and that is from me not dunking these in water after I super quenched them. So I'm just kind of sorting these out right now on which ones I'm going to have to do an extra step on. And it looks like a good portion of these I'm going to have to rinse off. Now the question is, how well will they rinse? Well, let's find out. Does that just dissolve? I'm hoping it does. And it looks like it might. I don't know. It looks like that washes off pretty quick. I'm hoping it does. I really am. So it's just salt and soap that ends up coating that from the super quench. Okay, well that's going to make cleanup a little bit easier. And hopefully when it dries it's not back. But I don't think it will be. Alright guys, if you haven't liked and subscribed yet, now's a great time to do so. And I'm just going to keep working on through here, seeing what I can get accomplished. If you want to see some other videos, maybe some that are a bit more interesting, be sure to like and subscribe. Check out the channel and see what we've got. Let's see, there's 8. 6. I'll try 7 on the next batch. I'll be really happy once these are knocked out, and even better when they're sold. Foraging Fishing, how's it going? All right. So later today, I'll actually be doing some more foraging and some heat treating. It just kind of depends upon what I get done and at what point. I've still got to do some banking today. But I'm going to see what I can get accomplished. Like I said, this is pretty simple. And if I was doing one or two of these, I'd be finishing them out a lot better. But these are promotional. That I'm not going to pull very much money off of at all. This still turn out neat. It just puts a nice wire brush finish on these. Like I said, each one's a little different shape. I've had groups of people come in to make these in my shop, and they'll use the same size spikes, they'll use the same hammer, same equipment. And each one will be a little different. And one more, then I'm going to give myself a little break here for the wire wheel. right. These are the plain spikes. Yeah, now I do have some of the, so these are like your around 1040-ish steel. These are the, they're actually a 1078, 1080, 1078 Atlas knife and tool. I do have some of those, and I will be forging some of those out in the near future. These are some that are going to go quite cheap at some of the festivals locally. So like these I get in bulk at less than $2 a piece. These I have to pay $10 a piece individually. So pretty big difference. So I guess now it's going to be time to sharpen these up just a bit. Once more, if you haven't liked and subscribed, now's a great time to do so. And you know what? I want to, yeah, this will be fine. Getting ahead of myself. Too much stuff going on. Zoom in just a little bit. So just, it's a repetitive process, but this is a way that you can get a lot of work done in a relatively short amount of time. So let's see. Yeah, I need more cardboard sheets realistically. No two ways about it. But I can go ahead and get a couple of these put away. And I'll have, hell, I don't know how many will end up in here, but once it's filled, that's, it'll be filled, I guess. I'm also working on finishing up a batch of orders while I do this for 13 of these spikes. And looking forward to getting things completed. So I can move on to other projects. It's been fairly slow around here. Of course, we've had so many local celebrations, different fall festivals, or coming up on fall festivals rather. That there's pretty much from September to October around here. There's something to do every weekend. And that's kind of, that's a cool thing. It really is. So it gives me a little bit of time to send items to those festivals with people from the shop or people associated with the shop so that we can let people know that we're here and that we're available. This one's got a little bit of that leftover paint or something. Residual paint, perhaps. All right, there you have it. Once more, if you haven't liked and subscribed yet, now's a great time to do so. Hit that notification button. Guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Thanks for sticking with me. More videos to come and more videos that you can check out on my channel. Be sure to watch Season 4, Episode 2 of Forged in Fire. You can see me on there. You can see Cheyenne on Season 9, Episode 5. You can also find me on Season 1, Episode 1 of Master of Arms on Discovery. You guys have a great one. We'll catch you in a few.